Hi there, Dr. Becca here with Del Mar Center for Behavioral Health. Another short video today, and we are going to talk about timeout. I have parents say a lot of times, and teachers, and even registered behavior technicians, people say, well, I've tried timeout and it's not working. And I think there's some misconceptions about timeout, so I want to take just a couple minutes and talk about those. Timeout is a strategy that's used to decrease the future occurrence of a behavior that we don't want to see, right? So when our child has a tantrum or throws items, we may give time out so that in the future they don't have a tantrum or throw items. But the thing is in order for timeout to work, the item or the activity that the child is being removed from has to be enjoyable. So if I'm telling the child to clean up their room, and instead of cleaning up their room, she starts throwing her blocks and her doll babies all over the house, and I say, that's it, you're going to time out, I've actually reinforced instead of punished the throwing behavior, right? Because when she threw the doll babies, I removed the activity that she didn't like, which was cleaning her room. So I actually have taught her that if she doesn't want to clean her room, or she doesn't want to do another activity that she doesn't want to do, that if she throws her doll babies, then she won't have to finish that task. So that's actually an example that happens a lot, and when we don't mean to, but we're actually reinforcing behavior that we don't want to see more of. So you're probably thinking, well, if that's not how I'm supposed to use timeout, then how do I use it? And so use it well so that it works to my advantage. And the way that works is that if the child is watching a movie, which let's say they like to watch movies, and then they start kicking their brother and not listening when you say, stop kicking your brother, or actually we wouldn't want to say, stop kicking your brother, right? Because we always want to phrase it positively. So we would say, keep your feet on the floor. And they keep kicking and they keep kicking while they're watching the movie, then you would send them to timeout because they want to watch the movie. And so the response to them kicking their brother is they're being removed from an activity that they like, which is watching the movie. So because they don't want to miss the movie, in the future, they are less likely to kick their brother. So in that example, we are punishing the behavior, which remember, in behavior analytic terms, just means that we're doing something that's going to cause that behavior to happen less frequently in the future. So because the child likes the movie, they don't want to miss it. So when we remove them from watching the movie for a behavior that we don't like or we don't want to see more of, like kicking or punching their brother, then that kicking behavior is going to happen less in the future. Whereas in the other example, when the child is being told to do something they don't want to do, and then we put them on timeout for their behavior, we've actually reinforced or strengthened the behavior that we don't want to see because the child is being reinforced by not having to complete the undesirable task. So again, timeout is often misunderstood and often misused, and then we don't get that good bang for our buck. We don't get the results that we hope to see. So a reminder that for timeout to work, and timeout being a procedure where we are trying to decrease the future frequency of a behavior happening, that only happens when we remove the child from a desirable activity as a result of engaging in behaviors we don't want to see more. So if the child likes watching a movie or likes eating cake or likes playing with doll babies, and we remove them from that for engaging in a behavior we don't want to see more of, then we are accurately using or appropriately using timeout. And remember, the only way to assess whether the intervention is working is to look at, in the future, is the child kicking less during movies or throwing doll babies less? And when we see that behavior happen less in the future, we know that we have done a good job in changing that behavior using the timeout procedure. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and thanks for tuning in.